Hey everybody, so I haven't been anywhere in the last few weeks to be able to do a travel Tuesday. I did the Tasty Tuesday last week, but I don't know if I'm going to get to go anywhere special to eat in the next day or two. So I am going to do I haven't decided what I'm going to name it yet, so I'll probably see it in the title of this letter. I have a project that I just happened across on YouTube, looked it up on YouTube, Pinterest, so I'm going to record my very first attempt at it. So it will either be a spectacular grand project or a massive expensive failure. Wasn't terribly expensive. I'd have to like go back and sit down and figure out. It's probably all less than $100, maybe. But I don't know. But I'm going to try and record like start to finish everything that I do. Hopefully this video won't be too long because I will, like, there are things in it that will take time, but I will definitely speed up and not make you watch like each and every second of it. So anyway, I am going to begin now. Okay, I am going to be working with this mug that I got from Walmart. I think it was 6 something, 5 something. It's just one of the Ozark Trails. But you can get them in different forms. Like they do have them like this small mug. They also have like a 20 ounce, 30 ounce. But I'm going to work with this one today just since I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. You will also need Mod Podge. I'm going to use a brush. The mug did have a sticker like this around it. I was able to like pull it off of one of the other mugs and it came off fairly well. It didn't come off of this one very easily. I did, however, watch a YouTube video that if you have a heat gun, and I just have this little like embossing heat gun that you can, it's only like one little section of it that had sticky stuff. You can heat that sticky stuff up and it'll pull right off, and that did work fairly well. So I also saw that you could use acetone to get it off, which that would probably work. The other one, before I got the heat gun out, I just scraped one of them off, and it took longer than the heat gun, but it did work. Masking tape on the inside of a cup, definitely a lot harder than you would think it would be. And then I'm going to stick the cup onto my foam football, which again, could be harder than anticipated. Okay, next step, the Mod Podge. And just put a nice thin coat over the entire cup. You do want to make sure that the Mod Podge is even. First you can go over it once and just kind of make sure it's all on there, but make sure it's kind of even, because if you don't, you are going to end up with gloppy places, because I'm going to put glitter on it. But you could do different things too. It doesn't necessarily have to be glitter. I have seen them with like book pages and things like that. Like I said, this is the first time I'm trying it, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now I have got the entire cup coated with one layer of Mod Podge. I'm going to open the glitter, which I probably should have done before I started and had a Mod Podged item in my hand, but it's okay. So now I'm going to tap it off, and then I'm going to let this first layer dry for about 20 minutes, I guess. And then I will come back and add another coat. Okay, so sorry if the angle has changed a little bit. I realized that my tripod was like sitting on one of my hand weights, so I moved it a little bit, but you know, you can see it's pretty much dried to the touch. You know, there is still, it's not focusing on my finger, but the glitter is coming off a little bit. This time I'm going to pour a little bit of the Mod Podge, just a smidgen, because it doesn't take a whole lot anyway. I'm going to pour a little bit of it into this cup because I don't want the glitter coming back and getting into the Mod Podge. So the first time it was okay because I didn't have any glitter on there yet, but with this coat there's probably going to end up being glitter, so I don't want there to be glitter in my big thing of Mod Podge. So putting on the second coat. I have found one thing, it takes more Mod Podge this second coat because of the glitter that's already on there. So here is the look after 2 coats of glitter. I'm really liking the way it looks. I'm still seeing a few little like not as heavy spots, especially down here around the bottom. So I may go ahead and put 3 coats of glitter. Not really super concerned about the amount of glitter it's using. You know, I don't want to waste it. I mean, anybody who knows me and my crafts, like, I will save fabric scraps. You know, if it's big enough for anything, I will save it. But as you can see, it's not, I'm using a ton of glitter, or feel like I'm using a ton, but I haven't like used hardly any of it. So let's say tap it off, and I'm going to let it dry another 20 minutes, and then we'll see how it looks then and see if I think it needs one more coat. Okay, and here we are 20 minutes later. I think there on the end where I patched it up a little bit doesn't look completely dry or right because I kind of blotted it with my finger, but I am going to put one more coat of glitter. So that is what I am about to do, and then yeah, we'll let it dry. So yeah, there you go. That is 3 coats. Ought to be plenty. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to begin the next step, which could be the more complicated of the steps, but we'll see. Okay, now for this part you will need some of this epoxy. There are several different brands. I found this one on Amazon. You have to make sure that if you're doing something that's going to be like a cup, that it is FDA compliant. So it has to have this, and this brand does. Like I said, I got it on Amazon. I think it was like $25, and it's it comes in 2 separate bottles, and you have to mix equal parts. I don't really know how much to use. I've just kind of went by what different YouTube videos have said. So I think I'm going to try 12.5 milliliters and hope for the best, hope that's enough. But you have to measure them out separately, and then you mix them together. And I got these clear cups at Walmart. It's kind of flimsy, but I also cut the top of it because I wanted to work with a little bit smaller of a cup. But they didn't have the small clear bathroom cups, and I wanted to be able to see it because they say when you mix them together they get kind of cloudy, and you have to stir it until it's clear, and that's what this popsicle stick is for. But be sure that you do get every bit of it out of the cups when you pour them together, because that's very important to them setting and getting hard. So here I go. See, now I think I have got it probably about as clear as it's going to get. I've stirred it really slow. It's supposed to not get bubbles in it if you stir it slow. I don't know whether I've stirred it too fast or what, but there are some bubbles in it. But I've read about a couple of different ways to get those bubbles out. So I'm going to try and do that before I move on to the next step. So this is the project that my dad and I were working on today. It is a cup turner. So here's what you do. I've heard you can do it with a finger or a paintbrush. I'm going to do a gloved finger, and you just pour the epoxy on here and smooth it out. So I'm just trying to like smooth this out. Still got a little bit left in my cup. Since I've never done this before, I don't really know how thick to put it on or how to smooth it out. So I'm just trying to kind of eyeball it. You can see I've put some parchment paper underneath so it doesn't get on the thing. So I am back at it this morning. I went ahead and put my vinyl on the other side of the cup. It's still a little tacky, but it's pretty much dry to the touch. I think I'm going to try and make sure that I stir my second coat just a little bit longer and better to see if that's why it's still a little tacky. I mean, like I said, it's not bad, but it's still a little bit. So I just let it like cure overnight before I put on that decal. And I don't want to show it because this is a present for someone, and I don't really think that they watch my videos, at least not all the time, but I don't want them to see it if they do. So I'm going to get back to work. I did move my setup into my bedroom instead of out where I would probably normally keep it, just because my bedroom is a little more temperature controlled than out there, and so I wanted to see if that would affect how it cured, because I have read some of the stuff, and amazingly I haven't been able to find a whole lot of tutorials and stuff on actually making them and like how long they let them set and stuff like that. I have found a few, but not very many. Okay, so I've stirred this for 3 minutes now. Alexa, stop timer. But I think I'm going to do it for just about 10 more seconds just to be on the safe side. It is looking really clear, it has, and it even like has a different feel texture, I think. So I think I have probably stirred it long enough, but I just wanted to make doubly sure because I don't plan to put another coat of epoxy on there unless I just have to. So I want to make sure it's good and stirred together, because that's one thing that I have read is that not being mixed properly can cause it to be tacky. Okay, I have found apparently that it doesn't take nearly as much epoxy for the second coat as it did for the first. And I guess it's probably because you're not going into all those glitter ripples. So next time I will use less for the second coat. So now I'm just gonna let it cure, turn and rotate for another 6 or 8 hours, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so everyone, here is the finished product. It actually turned out really good. I don't want to spin it all the way around because then you will see the monogram that I was trying to cover up in some of the pieces that I was editing. I edited out the whole monogram just in case the person who it's a gift for does watch it. The one thing I might change would be, I don't know if it's going to focus or not, right around the lip of it, it's a kind of rough. So if I did one like this again, I would probably get some sandpaper and like just sand it down. It's not too bad. But it is not tacky at all anymore, and it's been probably 36-ish hours, I guess, because I did it yesterday morning. I let it dry on the thing for about 12 hours. It spun for most of that 12, and then I turned it off. The other one that I have been working on today is this one, and I don't want to spin it around either because it is a gift as well. It is definitely still tacky because I just put, I mean, not terribly tacky, but a little bit, because I just put the final coat on it this morning. It's still even on its little bar from the thing, but like I said, I don't want to spin it around because it is a gift as well. So see, it's still kind of sticking. You can kind of hear it stick. But so this is number 2. I've got number 3 spinning right now. And this is number 3. My sister did this one. She decorated with washi tape, and I'm going to put epoxy and a vinyl decal of the first letter of her first name, an S, on it for Stacy. I haven't done any of the washi tapes. Ones I've been doing were just the glitter, so this will be interesting to see how it turns out. It's also a bigger cup, so it's kind of angled down for part of it because I had to change my setup a little bit, so I don't know how it's going to do. I hope it does okay, but I will have to put another layer of epoxy, obviously, over it when it's done. So all in all, I think it turned out rather well. But I've learned a few things just in the couple days I've been working on them. Just how long to do it, how much stuff it takes, that kind of thing, how long they need to sit. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the box below and ask away. Like I said, I'm still learning, still trying to figure things out. I definitely am no pro at it, but I have 3 under my belt now. I've also started, I've got the glitter on one that it just needs to be epoxied, and it will get epoxied when Stacy's gets finished. But I only have 1 spinner, so I and since it really takes almost 24 hours to spin one because you have to put the epoxy on it and let it spin for about 6 or 8 hours, and then you can put the decal or whatever on it and then put the other. Then you have to let it spin for 6 or 8 hours at least, maybe a little bit longer. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want it to mess up when I've spent all that time on it anyway. So I'd rather it spin and sit longer than it needs to than not long enough. So anyway, hope you guys have learned something. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, anything else, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.